Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to share an end of year homeschool wrap up for my 12-year-old sixth grader. I'm going to share all of the curriculum that we used with her this year, what worked, what didn't, and all of the in between. So, are you finished homeschooling yet for the year? We definitely are not. We have a few more weeks to go before we wrap things up and we finish and move into our summer schedule. Yes, I am one of those homeschool moms that makes my kids do school throughout the summer. We are year-round homeschoolers. We have embraced it and we love it. But I will be sharing more about that in a video here in a couple weeks where I'm talking about our summer school plans. Today's video is part of a series that I have been doing here on my channel lately where I have been sharing end of year wrap-ups for each of my kids where I've talked through all of their independent subjects that they have been working on. I'm also going to do a video about our family subjects, our core subjects that we do together as a group during morning time and group time. So if you have not done so already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of that content coming up. If you are new around here, my name is Sarah. I am the homeschool mom of 5 kids. They are currently ages 13, 12, 7, 3, and 18 months. We are currently wrapping up our 9th year of homeschooling, and if I had to label us, which I don't like to do, but I will, we are definitely eclectic homeschoolers. We are a good mix of unit studies, Charlotte Mason, and traditional schooling methods here in our home. Now, today's video is all about my 12-year-old Leah, who I would say is completing her 6th grade year of school. Leah is my second oldest child, my oldest daughter, and she is definitely an auditory learner. If she hears it once, it's like she can just memorize it and she knows it forever and ever. She is also a very highly motivated and driven student. She loves school. She loves checklists. She loves to-do lists. Now, I share all of this just so you can get a feel for my teaching style, for her skills, and that'll give you a clue as to why we chose the curriculum that we chose. I'm also sharing all of this to kind of lead to an obvious disclaimer. Today I'm sharing thoughts and opinions about homeschool, about curriculum for this year, for this season, for this child, for our homeschool. And so our experience may be completely different than the experience that you have with one of these curriculum, and that's okay. That is the beauty of homeschool. All right, so that out of the way, thanks for letting me say all that. Let's move into what worked this year for 6th grade. First up, I have Matthew C. Zeta, and wow, this thing is almost empty. It's really flimsy. Leah likes to tear all of these out and put them into a separate notebook as she completes them, and she only has a few lessons left. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot to report about this. If you've been around our channel, you know that we have used Matthew C. since the beginning for 9 years now and absolutely love this program. Leah has done really well learning about decimals and percents, but I do have a couple supplemental resources that I want to share that I did pair with Matthew C. that we found very helpful for 6th grade. First of all is a DVD player. And this is like an individual DVD player, just a little portable one. I ended up picking up these little personal DVD players for all 3 of my school-age kids this year, and it was such a good purchase. This enabled them to watch their math lesson DVDs on their own time without bothering anybody. They were able to plug their headphones right into this and they could watch it early in the morning while the babies were asleep, or late in the afternoon while somebody else was using our large television to watch something. They could watch their math when they needed to without really having to ask for permission. In case you're curious, Matthew C. does provide their DVD lessons online, but here in our house we are a little bit careful or strict about our kids' internet usage, so we prefer just to let them use use the DVDs, and then I don't have to worry about them on a computer. Now, the way we worked this, and it worked really well for her, she would watch the DVD lesson on her own at the beginning of the week and try to do the first worksheet by herself. If she had any questions or problems, I would sit down with her, re-watch the video alongside of her, and then we would work out the problems on the whiteboard together. And this was a really good system. It made math very minimal for me on my part, and she was able to do so much of it independently. So Math UC has just been really, really great. The other item that we've only had for, oh gosh, not very long here in our house are calculators. I ended up buying Noah and Leah their own little scientific calculators this year for math. As you are getting into these upper levels of math, it's going to take your child a long time to work some of these problems out by hand. And so having a calculator is just a definite need as you're getting into some of these higher levels. Leah has not used these for every lesson or even every worksheet in this book. We kind of pick and choose when she needs to use it and when she doesn't, but it has been really helpful and has sped up some of the lessons where a calculator was appropriate. And honestly, it's pink. Of course, Leah loved this. All right, so next up, not shocking that I'm going to mention that IEW has worked well for our homeschool this year. We absolutely love IEW. We have been using it for several years with my older kids. This year, I let them choose what level they wanted to do, and they chose Following Narnia Volume 1, The Lion's Song. Now, this study goes alongside of the first two books in the Narnia series, The Magician's Nephew, as well as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Noah and Leah are reading all of the books for literature this year, but they were writing papers from IEW for those two books in particular. Now, full disclosure, we did not do every assignment in this book, and we did not follow the schedule that was suggested in the table of contents. I tend to make IEW work for us. We kind of skip around when we need to, or skip entire worksheets or lessons when we want to. I kind of create my own pace. If I'm honest, these theme-based writing units, they are definitely a little bit more difficult for me as mama, as teacher. I don't have DVDs where Andrew Pudaw is kind of holding our hands and walking us through each lesson. And so I found that I was having to spend a lot more time instructing my kids and helping them and editing their papers. It definitely was a little bit more time intensive for me this year doing this theme-based writing unit rather than the structure and style DVDs. I haven't quite decided yet if we are going to continue on with this and move into Volume 2, Aslan's Song, that continues through the Narnia books, or if we're going to do something different next year. I have not quite decided, but all in all, IEW, The Lion's Song, worked so well for us for 6th grade. All right, so next, kind of in that same language arts vein, Wordly Wise. This was something that we added to our homeschool back in January. I mentioned that in our mid-year update video. This was kind of a spur-of-the-moment decision that I decided to throw into our homeschool because I was interested in this curriculum. I'd heard a lot of really good things about it, and so I didn't really know where to place the kids, so I just kind of put them in Book 5. I wanted this to be an easier subject for them, not something really difficult. I just wanted to use it for some new vocabulary introductions for them, and then that is exactly what it has done. Leah was able to do this workbook completely independently every day. It took her about 15 to 20 minutes to do each lesson, and she really enjoyed it. She said that she feels like it has helped increase her vocabulary, introduce her to new words and definitions of new words. So we really like this program. We will definitely continue to use this. We're just going to kind of, again, go at our own pace and work through the book. All right, so the next subject that has been working well is spelling. She did Spelling UC Level F Ancient Achievements. Spelling is one of the subjects that Leah needed a little bit more of a challenge in, and so we skipped from level, let's see, A, B, C, D, We skipped from level D last year to level F this year and totally skipped level E. And wow, yes, this was definitely more of a challenge for her this year. Since this was a big jump for Leah, we decided to take this nice and slow. And so I had a goal for her to just finish part 1 of this curriculum. There's actually a part 2 workbook that goes along with this. There are 18 weeks worth of lessons in each of the workbooks. And so that is right where Leah is. She's getting ready to finish lesson 18. As you can see here, there is a lot of chunking in each lesson. This is lesson 9, and the passages that they are reading aloud are definitely a good bit longer. And so doing this entire lesson would take Leah a good 30 minutes or so. And so we decided to break up the lessons a little bit sometimes, and maybe she would only do this first page of chunking one day, and the next day she would read it and do the chunking and do the copy work. And so we kind of split the lessons up for her, and that seemed to work really well. It challenged her without overwhelming her. Bible definitely worked for Leah this year. She has been using the Meeting with Jesus, a daily Bible reading plan for kids by David Murray. She did the Exploring the Bible study from the same author last year in 5th grade, and it was just wonderful. So this was definitely just a very easy decision to move into this book for 6th grade. This study is excellent if you are looking for something to help your child get into the habit of reading the Bible on a daily basis, to memorize a verse or think critically about scripture and answer, one question every day. That's kind of the setup of this. They will read a passage, answer a question, and work on a memory verse. And so it's very simple. It's very to the point. It doesn't take Leah very long to do every morning, but it's doing exactly what I wanted, which was getting her in the habit of being in her Bible day in and day out. This study even includes a page for Sunday mornings where your child can take notes as they are maybe sitting in church and listening to a sermon. So this is a great study, I would say, for upper elementary school to middle school students that you are just looking to get them in the Bible on a daily basis. All right, so last up on the items that were independent for Leah this year that worked well is her planner. Now, this is just a 2-year planner that I picked up from Michael's last summer for around $20. But wow, Leah has really taken ownership and started keeping track of her own assignments and staying really organized using this planner. I am planning on doing an entire video devoted to this about how I have utilized planners with my middle schoolers this summer. But just to kind of, give you a little preview, the thing I love most about these planners in particular, I'll go ahead and just jump, this is for July of the summertime. You can see that it gives you kind of just a normal month at a glance that you can look at the entire month. But then on the weekly pages, each day is broken down into 3 different sections. And so this has worked really well for Leah to stay organized. In our homeschool, we tend to block our time. We have morning time, group time, and then their individual work, independent subjects. And so Leah was able to list out all 3 of those time blocks in these 3 headers. It worked so well. And then there's also, extra places for her to put notes and things like that. Now, Leah went above and beyond. She is so girly and I just love it. She just went nuts with colored pens and pencils and stickers and really had a good time decorating her planner and had fun organizing her calendar week in and week out this year. All right, so moving on to some subjects that didn't work so well for Leah for 6th grade. Grammar. Grammar was a little bit of a disaster this year from start to finish. So originally when we started the year back in the fall, I had decided to do grammar as a family subject as part of our group time and morning time. And I was piecing together 2 or 3 different grammar curriculums and kind of coming up with my own lesson that I was doing every day for my 1st grader all the way up through my 7th grader. And that lasted a couple of weeks and then completely fizzled out. And so by mid-year in January, I had decided to just drop that all together and go in a new direction. And so I purchased Fix It Grammar from IEW. This is book 2, Robin Hood. And I just use this as an independent subject for Leah to use every day, just to go through and fix the sentences from Robin Hood. This curriculum is fine. It's great. I love this curriculum, but it just wasn't a very good fit for my kids. It wasn't a very good fit for Leah. She actually told me that it was kind of boring. It just really wasn't very interesting to her. And she actually was kind of flying through it. She was able to get almost an entire week's worth of work done in one day in about 20 minutes or so. And I know that that's the beauty of it. You can do it very quickly on a day-to-day basis, that you can kind of do it independently, but it was just a little bit too easy and a little bit too repetitive for her. So Fix It Grammar was not a good fit for us. I'm going to look into some other grammar options probably moving forward. All right, guys, well, that wraps things up for Leah, my 6th grader. She had a lot of curriculum, independent subjects that worked really well for her, and then, you know, that one that didn't. But overall, it was a very productive year. Now, as I said, this is part of a series I am doing where I am going through and sharing the independent subjects for each of my kids, what worked and what didn't as we are wrapping up our school year. I'm also planning on doing a video that talks about all of our family subjects and our group subjects that we tackled this year in 2020 and 2021. So make sure to stay tuned and keep an eye out for that. If you enjoyed today's video, if you like this kind of content, please take a second, give it a thumbs up, like it down below. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I hope that you are enjoying wrapping up your homeschool year. See you later.